I don't think this is as competitive of a Brownlow as what everyone said.
I think he's competing with less teammates.
I think he's actually massive value.
Who else is going to get some of these votes?
Hello and welcome to Layback with Betfair. This is a special mini. We're going to dive into the Brownlow Medal now. I'm going to put it into context to start off with. Nick Dacos has been a rock solid favourite all year. He's never touched double figures. And he was matched as low as $1.55 not long ago. He's obviously drifted a little bit into the market just due to the performances of other players, but pretty remarkable that Jordan Dawson at some stage this year was matched at $400. Noah Anderson matched at $110. Matt Rao was matched at $100. Bailey Smith $140. And Nazaya Wanganang-Millera was matched at $1,000. And they're your chances for the Brownlow Medal this year. I just want to touch on who history will say will win the Brownlow Medal, because I feel like the Brownlow is a medal now that has become a trend, and I think there's only a particular type of player that can win the Brownlow Medal. So usually an elite midfielder. Key position winners are obviously very, very rare. It hasn't happened in a long time. Winning teams have to come to the fore, so a Brownlow Medal has to come from a team that has been winning, typically 13 plus wins for the year. And then ball magnets with a contested edge is the main one. So your winners have to be top 5 for disposals, maybe even top 3, top 3 for clearances and contested possessions. And I think the accumulation from the outside, the uncontested possessions, are something that is overrated for umpires. Obviously, it looks good when you're watching on the TV, but the umpires are really looking at the balls inside. So, in saying that, we're going to talk about some of the leading contenders for the Brownlow Medal this year, and I want to get your opinion on some of them. So let's touch first on Jordan Dawson. He's obviously the captain for the Adelaide Crows, and he's their out-and-out star. And I think this is one that's probably overs on the Betfair Exchange, just due to the fact that he kind of goes a little bit quiet. He's more of a quiet figure over in Adelaide, but he has games where he puts Adelaide on his back. And I don't think anyone is really going to be taking votes from him. Do you agree there with Jordan Dawson?
Yeah, I agree. And, I think the key there at the end is there's not somebody taking votes off him. Agree with all of your points you made, and it kind of hits a lot of those. And he's also a goal scorer. So he can hit the scoreboard as well. So Jordan Dawson, a team that won 18 matches, with few people to take votes off him. It's like, who else is going to get some of these votes? Even in some of those games where he might have had 23, 24 and a goal or two, he's polling 3 more often than some others and some other clubs with the same stat line. So, what price are you seeing now on the exchange, Karl, for Geordie?
Currently, he is $7.20 on the Betfair Exchange, which I definitely think is overs there. And if you're really keen on Nick Dacos, we'll talk about our strategies, but I think you just have to save Jordan Dawson. Noah Anderson, I would say this is his breakout year, but I think his last few years have been absolutely fantastic. Very high up in the AFL for disposals, clearances, and contested possessions. And he has kicked a few goals as well, which always captures the attention of the umpires. Look, I think the issue for mine is a couple of things. We're going to talk about Matt Rao, but he's got to compete for votes with Matt Rao. I think it'll be between those 2s and 3s, but nevertheless, he might steal a couple there. And Gold Coast just finishing 8th and just making finals in the end is probably something that's going to go against them when you got Collingwood that won, a few more games with Nick Dacos and Jordan Dawson for Adelaide, but very, very firm in the market. He's currently $7.20 as well, probably drifted a little bit. He got as short as $4 at some points in the year. But what do you think of Noah Anderson?
Yeah, going back to your point before about contested footy and how the umpires have really rewarded those types of players. You look at some surprising winners over the last decade. Ollie Wines comes to mind, Matt Priddis comes to mind, and Matt Rao feels like that type of player. So in teams, like you said, that probably, finished in the 5th to 8th range of the table, I feel like these two will be 2 players that probably finish in the top 6. But whether Noah Anderson can catch enough votes to win it, I think he might just fall short.
Bailey Smith. Let's talk about the gorgeous Bailey Smith. He obviously missed a couple of games. He probably almost missed a few more, with Mr. Scott pulling him out almost out of a few of them there. But he's one that, obviously just catches the attentions of the umpires, not just because of his ability. Probably his flowing hair really stands out, but he's predicted to get very high votes this year. What do you thoughts on Bailey Smith?
Yeah, look, we're going to see how much that hair and that flare attracts votes. I think Max Holmes has had an as good a year in my opinion, and look, I think Bailey, look, they won plenty of games after him and Holmes. There's probably not too many others. There's no forwards go cold as they should. So I think he'll finish right near the top. For mine, he finishes just behind Dacos. However, a really smart friend of mine who I respect his opinion thinks that Bailey Smith could take out the Brownlow Medal. He's got his count. Bailey Smith leading by about half a vote.
Let's talk about Matt Rowell before we get to the favourite. Matt Rowell is just someone who his profile fits perfectly for a Brownlow Medal. He obviously is huge, led the AFL for tackles, basically top 3 in contested possessions and clearances. He's just an elite contested beast. And I think something that he's brought to his game this year more than other years is he's really exploding out of contests. And you obviously see some of the great Brownlow Medal winners over the last 10, 15 years, Dane Swan, Chris Judd, Gary Ablett. They're those players that can really steam out of those packs. I don't think he's going to win the Brownlow Medal this year, but by George, I reckon he's someone that's going to finish his career with a Brownlow Medal.
For sure. He might cost Noah the Brownlow this year, but he will poll extremely well throughout his career, and now he's added that burst from stoppage, that ability, that explosiveness, not just the toughness around the pack and the tackling and all of that, he's got this explosiveness, and he's also just cleaned up his skills a little bit, I think, which would be important moving forward.
Yeah, definitely agree. The final one is Nick Dacos, and he's been smashing down the door the last couple of years, arguably probably unlucky, some of them. He would have almost had the Brownlow Medal votes record last year if it wasn't for Patrick Cripps, who smashed it. But he's just a pure midfielder. Collingwood, finishing high up on the ladder again in the top 4, getting lots of wins, high up in disposals, top 5 for clearances, contested possessions. He's also kicks goals, and that definitely gets the attention of umpires. I think there's probably a little bit of bias to the umpires thinking he should have maybe won in previous years. We see that come to the fore as well. But he ticks every single historical box. And he's the ideal Brownlow Medal profile, Joel.
Yeah, I think so. And I agree with you. He, as you said, he did break the record apart from Patrick Cripps, the guy who beat him last year. Unlike in past years, I think he's competing with less teammates. We're seeing Pendlebury, Sidebottom reach the tail ends of their career, and then Jordan McGoey wasn't a factor this year. So Nick, again, when you look back through their matches, apart from his brother Josh, who accumulated some disposals, this is quite a clear vote getter in the Pies. So I think that's going to work to his advantage, and I think there will be some bias from the umpires. But I felt there were some games over the last 2 years he was a clear vote getter and was left out. And I think that came to some of the narrative around him. That, I think, could work in his favour this year, and I think it might be what just gets him over the line, and he's my Brownlow Medal pick, Nick Dacos.
Yeah, completely agree. We'll go into our bets in just a second, but I want to touch on the Brownlow Medal predictions from Betfair. They always come to the fore at this time of the year. I'm going to go through the top 5 predictions and the vote getters for the Brownlow Medal. At number 5, Jordan Dawson there to finish with 25 votes. He's currently $7.40 on the Betfair Exchange. Number 4 on 26 votes, surprisingly here, is Caleb Sarong, who's currently $75 on the Betfair Exchange. So a roughie there, for some of those other markets, top 5 potentially. Bailey Smith, who one of your sources has winning by half a vote. We have him finishing on 28 votes. He's currently second favourite, $5 on the Betfair Exchange, and he finished with a wet sail, definitely. Number 2 on 29 votes, Noah Anderson. He finishes on 29 votes, $7.20 on the Betfair Exchange. And then winning on 31 votes at $2.60 is Nick Dacos. Now, I just want to touch on him on why he is my top pick and how I think he's actually massive value. At $2.60, he's definitely a bet. And I can't believe in the last couple of weeks he's drifted to $3. I know that there's been great performances from some of those other players, Noah Anderson, Bailey Smith, Jordan Dawson in recent weeks, and they've all shortened. But I don't think this is as competitive of a Brownlow as what everyone says. I actually think Nick Dacos has really got this sewed up. And he should be odds on for me. So $2.60 is a bit of a gift. I'll definitely save on Jordan Dawson just purely on the fact that Adelaide won all those games this year, and I don't think anyone's stealing votes off him. He's a goal kicker, an out-and-out star. But I'm still kind of perplexed as to why Nick Dacos is $2.60. Do you think he's value there, Joel?
Yeah, I do. And I think you make some really great points. And usually in Brownlow years, there's some question marks around each player, or if they're the right type of player to poll correctly, even if they've had the best year. I just don't think there's any of those questions with Nick. You know, to the points we made before, he's the clear pick for me. He's somebody I wanted during the year for a big sum of money, which I posted on Twitter about. It was to get on Nick Dacos to win the Brownlow Medal at $4.50 at the time. But with the season complete, he's my pick, and I really like the strategy to save on Dawson at the price.
Well, I'm looking forward to Brownlow Medal night. It's one of my favourite nights of the year. Joel, thank you so much. It's going to be an absolutely massive weekend of footy. Looking forward to maybe sending a few of those plays in after we see the teams and seeing what the weather is doing. But thank you so much. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure, and good luck for this weekend.
Can't wait, Carl. Thanks for having me.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.